Bada bing, bada boom. Also, the screen is kind of messed up. Let me fix that really quick. I know you guys can't see it unless you're watching Twitch, but alright, the screen is fixed. Now we can start. Hello, it's Roll for Mischief time. Um, Another beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and we're going to be finishing up Asa's episode here called Firestarter. It's been a kind of a long, epic journey. We've really enjoyed having Alex be our guest, and I think we've confirmed that Alex is going to be sticking around for the foreseeable time. All right, we'll
As long as you'll have me.
hell yeah, we'll see what more is going on with Leah's crazy emotional influence thing. Maybe we'll become a cult. That might be nice. I
The cultist.
can we make a cult? Can we do that?
Let's hope not. I don't actually want to lead a cult. Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, honestly.
Cool.
All right. So, any special announcements that anyone has to make before we roll the intro video?
Yes, actually.
Go for it.
So, a couple of things. One, I've been approached by a couple of UK-based publishers for playtesting of new game materials. I've not signed any documents to say that I can't talk about things, but I'm not sure how much to say. So, if anyone is interested in playtesting new game systems, get in touch with me and I will let you know details as and when they pop up. There's one that I'm currently playtesting and more coming down the pipeline. That and GM training. I have been doing it locally, but I am going to be doing that online soon as well. So if anyone wants to sign up for workshops, seminars, for that sort of thing, again, go to the website, mastertiergaming.com. It's constantly being updated and fiddled about with. But yeah, get in touch with me through the contact links there, and we'll get you sorted.
That's badass, Drew. Like, if I can talk this guy up for a second, this guy does this for a living. He's a professional DM, so, professional opinion. Look, I just love every single one of Drew's episodes. Love them.
Cheers.
I mean, that's not intimidating or anything.
Right? Like, it's not like I need to live up to that every time.
Yeah. No,
But I mean,
he's a professional. Come on.
Yeah. Also, yeah, good to talk that up because also Kerry has been like teasing bits of like maps and things. I'm starting to get a little scared about her episode. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, be scared.
Be scared.
Honestly, we were talking before this session that I'm essentially gonna love this session. He is gonna hate my session. I have made hell for Igna. Just say it.
Oh.
I cannot wait.
I'm ready.
Actually, like I guess since if Drew's done, I don't know, but I mean it's not really a big announcement yet. But I don't talk about my business that much really on here, but I have a business, Tabletop Crafter, and I am currently building my own website, which will have a Roll for Mischief page on it. So soon we will be on a website also. Which I don't know what it'll have on it yet. It's got the trailer. Might have some like updates of what's gone on. I might do some campaign diaries when I'm doing my campaign. So yeah, I don't know.
Some of us have seen some sneak peeks of the website. It looks really cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited.
Excellent. Any other announcements?
I'm awesome. But you all knew that already.
We already knew that already. Okay, so then let's do it. Roll credits. All right, we're back. Sweet. All right, so now is the time to do group therapy, a chance to recap kind of where we are in the story, and also see how our characters are feeling emotionally about things. And I'll go ahead and start with Agner. Agner, it should be noted, is poisoned again. Somehow messed up some constitution saving throw. Whatever. It's no big deal. But he's poisoned again. He's feeling like under duress. And also, yeah, since they had to get out of their situation as quickly as they could, they caused such a commotion in the square with Joran. The fight just like went in this really bad way. They went down into this tower where there was a bunch of drow, and that's where he got poisoned. And then the whole tower was surrounded, so they had to get out of there using Agner's complete incompetence with teleportation. You know, like somehow he's able to do it with his sword, like, but he doesn't understand how or why it happens, and they just had to get out. So they opened this portal to complete darkness, and Agner, it just said like, you know what, fuck it, we gotta get out of here, we're going out of here, and he just jumped through, you know. So whatever's on the other side, they're gonna have to deal with that. But what is on Agner's mind absolutely is just trying to have a moment to chill and calm down and maybe not be poisoned anymore, and also check up on Eridu, because yeah, he has just been continually not looking good.
And I do believe Eridu became a not Beridu before he went through the.
Is true. Yeah, and
So.
yeah, now that he's back in his elven form, you can see that he's not looking good.
Yeah.
Well, Halifax will be following Aigner. He's finding himself very much in between the moral compasses. Everyone else seems to have very strong convictions of like how to approach situations and things. And Halifax at the moment is trying to see what he can appeal to and what would work out best for the situation and try and help people out. But yeah, there seems to be sort of between Leah, Ellie, and Aigner, there seems to be this split between rushing ahead gung-ho, staying behind and making a plan, and maybe not letting everyone know that we're here and have them all like attack us. So yeah, Halifax is going to back up Aigner, but at the same time sort of agreeing with cooler heads when he can. And yeah, that's where Halifax is at right now.
So Ellie, I don't even know. I think Ellie's kind of pumped. Like, she's not really been in a proper fight like this, and she's sort of doing it alongside basically her hero. So, you know, she's kind of she's pumped. She's pretty much sticking right by Agner's side and doing everything she can to have his back, essentially. I think we cast Reduce on Joran, and we're carrying him.
Yeah, I think it made him a tiny jar.
which was Ellie's idea, so she's quite happy with it. She likes making things bigger and smaller. But yeah, so at the minute, I mean, she's just faced with this big black hole that appeared. The drow ran through it, and then Ellie pulled Aigner back, saying that it's wrong. Try again, and it did it again, and it just got bigger. So
Yeah.
then she just went straight in with Aigner, probably not really taking a hand off his shoulder.
Yeah.
In my eyes. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say. She's just in the midst of battle, I guess. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I believe we lost an Alex for a moment.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
It's an internet thing.
I suppose because it's relevant, I could talk about Eridu, since he hasn't actually like left the party.
Yeah.
Per se.
You should talk about Eridu.
A general recap is, you know, he's sick, and we've kind of figured out at this point that he's taken on Agner's poison state from before. By we, I mean Ellie and us as
Yeah,
audience
it's a bit of
players.
dramatic irony because obviously Agner would react in a very extreme way if he knew that.
Mhm. Um, and the short of it was that Agner had been poisoned for too long and was too close to death for the druids to just be like, bloop, it's gone. So they kind of transferred it over to Eridu, who has just a more of a natural ability to fight this off than Agner does. Because he's a monk. And so he's mostly been feeling kind of weak, but there was definitely a moment where he was influenced or possessed by or something by Agrian, where he went with the party to where Leah was at and attempted to kill her. Uh, and that whole moment of life was very confusing for him because he didn't know really what was going on. Then they kind of came out of that realizing that he could bolster his defense by becoming a bear after Halifax had polymorphed him into a bear. Um, he's been sort of doing what he can to hold on, and but he's got feelings. He's got thoughts around all this. It's just a matter of this is reminiscent of when he was in the northern islands that were all frozen, and they were like going after the dragon, the mechanical dragon, and the warforged, and he spent most of the time being exhausted because it's just so fucking cold. He's kind of in a state like that again. So that's been Eridu. We'll see what happens today. How is Leah feeling?
Well, Leah's having a terrible time with internet.
Bad
My
internet.
connection is unstable. Am I freezing on people?
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you're good.
All right. I've been freezing. Everyone's been freezing. It's just bad. So Leah's having a predictably terrible day. This seems to be the theme. She just accidentally almost murdered someone again with the strength of her feelings. At least in her mind, that's what happened. Of what might have actually happened in that case. As far as Leah knows, she just almost made a man. She just made a man commit suicide and only barely managed to keep him from actually dying. And she's like right from the beginning, when she first kind of let her feelings out, she hasn't been able to stuff them back in. So everything she's done today has been doing the opposite of what she wants to do, and she probably isn't going to be able to stop. So whatever we've got coming next is going to be just as bad. And that's pretty much what I've got right now. She's not feeling great. That probably won't help things.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Don't know if there's going to be any rest for us. We'll see. We'll see. Well, in that case, take it away, Asa. Take it away.
All right. So, last session, Agner had opened the portal, and instead of just opening with this power that encompassed everything and teleported them away, it opened up a gateway, shimmering with some kind of purple energy, and the gateway itself was just inky darkness. The drow that they had not killed, who Leah had suppressed emotionally, had just darted right into that portal as soon as it opened. Everyone else was a little more hesitant. The portal expanded even more, consuming Agner and Ellie, since she had her hand on his shoulder, and it just kept growing until it had filled the whole room. Now, this didn't happen last session, but it sort of fits the motif of the way these teleportation circles have worked. So it kept growing until it fills the whole room, and everyone is inside of it, has now made their way into something that they didn't expect. Instead of being just whiffed away into another place, they are anyone who can see, is just momentarily blinded, and as their eyes adjust to this world around them, the sky is this dull greenish blue of suppressed light. All around them seem to be these large, writhing tentacles that sort of twist around everything in a tree root like way. As they look down, you see that you're standing on one of these tentacles. It is massive, at least 40 to 50 feet wide, and you can feel it pulsating under your feet. And the tentacles around you sort of are shuddering all about. Every time they move even a little bit, little bits of just like lights strobe from them, from tiny glowing uh, orbs that almost resemble eyeballs, uh, growing from these tentacles and from like moats of maybe land, maybe not land, are large pink mushrooms. Some places there are almost forests of them that seem to be about the size of people. The closest one you can see, uh, in its transparent, it's like a transparent pink. Inside of it is floating what looks to be like little blue segments of spine. Off in the distance, you see a massive tree that's just growing up from the depths below. Its withered limbs are producing this cloud of ink that's reminiscent of the color of autumn leaves. And not very far away, you see this structure that's just sort of free floating, but held out by silver cords that stretch in all directions and connect to these different tentacles. And the building itself appears to be made up of little triangles, just kind of meshed together in a way that kind of hurts your brain to think about. But this structure seems almost robotic, very alien compared to the rest of this very strange world. The drow who rushed through the portal ahead of you, you see him running along the tentacle that you're standing on now, screaming into the sky, into wherever you can scream into. They've followed me. The portal is open, and he seems to be making a line towards this structure. And then a mass of just something blue with segmented legs, and it almost seems ghost-like in its appearance. You can see through its bluish flesh what appear to be its organs, and it's got many eyes streaming down the side of its entire body. It opens up with a wide mouth. It's large enough to just catch this drow, and it like leaps over the tentacle, grabs him in its maw, and continues to sort of float to the other side, and disappears into the darkness again.
What the fuck, dude?
What?
What?
Did he look like he intended that to happen?
No,
Oh, right, okay.
no, that was
Just
definitely something that
Like,
came out of nowhere.
putting a thumb out for hitchhiking or something.
This has been
Just
a
checking.
rousing journey, my friends. Back to Twin Harbours, I think. I think there's a pint with my name on it.
Oh my god.
I'd like to take a second, and Agner, who can't see any of this,
I know, right?
so even when you guys come in and you hear the drow yelling, even Agner, it's as the sound is being suppressed as well, like it's traveling through water almost. And Agner, you can feel the words more than actually hear them. But how else do you experience this world?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that you said we're on a writhing tentacle?
Yeah, it's kind of like a tentacle. It's kind of like a root.
Okay.
It's a big it's a clearly moving or living thing.
Okay, so I mean that more than anything else freaks him out like so hard to the point where he like falls down to his knees and takes his bare hands and just like tries to grab onto like whatever it is, like cuz he doesn't know if he's going to get flung off or whatever, like he has no reference. So he's like seriously in panic mode, and the weird like the feeling of the words are like feeling like he's submerged or something. It's he's gonna have to spend a while to like try and recalibrate like how he can take in any information. So he's just in panic mode and he screams to everyone, "Where are we?"
Can I sort of go to kneel down beside him and put my hand on his shoulder and I'll like try to gently explain what things look like around us and what we're actually on top of and try to explain the root thing and that I don't think it's gonna like move, but we probably should move ourselves. And then I'll offer to like help guide him through. Of like, I was your eyes before, I'll be your eyes now.
Please.
Eridu will also step up next to Egner and put a reassuring arm on him and say, "And if you would please stop yelling. This is a dangerous place. Silence, darkness, and light footsteps are our allies here."
Okay.
Leah, you feel this world, its emotions so very strongly. And there seem to be just two: hunger and fear.
I was hoping for confusion and anger, but
Nope.
What about
Hunger and
happy?
fear.
What
Okay.
about happiness
Okay.
and joy? What? None of
I don't
that?
know.
Okay, fine,
Why,
fine.
why don't we get nice things, Asa?
Why? I want nice things.
Good.
She's familiar with this, isn't she?
This
Place?
Yeah. Both Leah and Eridu would be familiar with this. The world below the dark. The Underdark.
Oh, this seems like a good place to avoid.
You would also be familiar that with the structure that I pointed out, it is a drow structure. It is some of these safe havens that they had built along this place to try to keep out the natural predators.
Mm-hmm.
Halifax will definitely poke at the tentacle with his quarterstaff, just sort of see if it's safe to continue walking along this, or if we are in fact in danger of the ground suddenly like whipping up and grabbing us.
Yeah, you poke at the tentacle. It feels a little bit fleshy underneath your staff, but otherwise it doesn't give any major reaction to your touch.
I mean, I'm tempted to cast friends on it. Don't eat me.
We're your companions.
But no, I'm going to leave the tentacle alone in the hopes that it leaves me alone, and I'm going to follow on. So we're sort of ambling towards the tree in the middle. Is that what is that the structure we're heading towards?
What are we didn't mean to come here. Are we? And then I guess turn to Eridu and Leia. I guess did your father bring us here? Bring us here? Which is northwest.
I'm gonna let Eridu take it away.
I would like Egner roll a religion check.
You're gonna make me do things now?
Make you do stuff.
Why are you gonna make me do stuff? Egner's freaked
Because-
out, dude.
We buddies.
Okay, roll the 10, so that makes it a 14.
All right. So, how was I making you roll a religion check again? I forget.
Probably for something religion
Why we
related.
can't hear?
I had something in mind, and it just.
Okay. Well, once you bring it back up, once you think about it, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Shoot.
Was it about why we were brought here?
Yeah, it had something. Oh, yeah, it had something to do with why you were brought there. Exactly. I just was trying to remember what it was. Okay, so all around you, to help with the fact that sound seems suppressed, your voices don't seem to travel as far as you would think. There is this faint, occasional whisper in the air. The words that are said don't seem to make any sense in any language at all. Um, but occasionally, Agner, you can hear some of them, and they come in the whisper of what you imagine your goddess would sound like. And one of them says, "There are some who travel here. The gate is open, and the journey is almost complete. They will cross the bridge soon into your world. Find them. Stop them."
Okay. Conflicted about whether or not Egner is gonna.
Trust that.
Well, or I mean, it hits him like a ton of bricks actually, but in this like kind of reaffirming way, because everything else is so chaotic with like his surroundings and he just has no idea what's going on. But then this voice comes to him as like this like immediate sign of comfort, you know.
Mhm.
So he's gonna take it to heart, but he's not gonna know how to act on it, and not gonna know if he should tell other people.
Okay.
But he will say, "Wait, where did the drow go?"
He was eaten.
Oh, okay. Did you see where he was trying to go?
Straight ahead. Straight ahead.
Yeah, head a little to the left, toward that building made up of many different triangles that are forced together in a way that doesn't seem to make natural sense.
I'd vaguely describe the building. The direction.
The brain-hurting non-Euclidean building.
I was about to say, are we dealing with Lovecraftian non-Euclidean geometry?
In the
I
sense
was
of
about to
this
make a
film-
non-Euclidean joke.
I've never heard that word in my life before, and I've just heard it 3 or 4 times.
All right. So, real quick, Euclid is one of the people who's usually well, Euclidean math is a form of math that we often use.
Greek or Egyptian?
Geometry stuff, dude.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's geometry stuff. It's the natural
Yeah.
laws of geometry that we would apply to everyday stuff. So non-Euclidean geometry is the kind of geometry that if you looked at it, you would immediately have your brain hurt. And we see it in art. It's like the what's that one of the stairways that was redone?
Escher,
Yes.
the Escher
Yeah.
paintings.
That's a really
Uh,
good example of non-Euclidean paths, because as you try to follow it, your brain goes, these don't make sense. There's no way for this stairway to lead here, but then also that path to go around this. Like, your brain tries to make sense of the space that's being used, but it can't, because
It's not
there's-
following the rules of
Yeah.
like the way that it should be constructed.
geometry naturally follows.
Yeah.
It is
Well-
to be said that everything else in the Underdark so far does follow the structures of geometry as though they're supposed to be. It's just everything seems to kind of be alive
Yeah.
and hungry.
And freaky. So Egner says, "I think we need to go wherever that drow was going to go."
Agreed. Just how do we make sure we don't go where he's gone?
I'll hit it with my sword. Just
Let's just run across our swords in the air.
yeah. I mean,
Wow.
But if it
While
tries
we
to
are
eat me,
here-
it's going to be stabbed.
Exactly.
While we are here, it does behoove us to do some amount of exploration. If this is where the drow have been occupying themselves and becoming major players in the political scene, I think it's worth us exploring a little, seeing what makes this place tick.
I mean, I think that in there is probably our best bet either way.
I concur.
I wouldn't want to spend too much time exploring, considering that my brother has limited time, and we do eventually, and by eventually I mean very soon, want to go somewhere where we can help him.
I mean, if what your father says is true and is in here, maybe
Yes, and that's fine.
Let's.
Yes.
I will say, not very well rested. Maybe let's try diplomacy.
No.
This one. Yeah. Cool.
I'll cast friends.
Mm.
Wait, no.
I will take Agner's elbow if he allows me, and sort of try to guide him along the route and along the way so that he doesn't like slip or fall off.
I'd appreciate that, and just tell me if you need me to hit anything with my sword, you know, because I'll do that if I need to.
Okay.
All right. All right. You guys begin to make your way along the tentacle. Growing up, about 20 feet to your right is one of those large mushrooms, or a couple of them, but one of them is closest. And you can, as you kind of go past it, you can see the segments of spine occasionally come together and like kind of moving in a fish-like serpentine manner, and then separating again. And then a bit further to your left, another probably 30 feet from where you're at now, is one of those large, what I described it as a cable or a strand that leads to the non-Euclidean building. Would anyone like to touch anything?
Oh, yeah.
Not Agner, dude. I mean, in another in another life, if Agner had done some psychedelics back in his college days or something, he might be reaching out to this mushroom and seeing what's going on. But no, not in this context.
I am full on investigating. As we're wandering past things, we're going a little slower because I'm needing to lead Agner along. I'm going to go up to this mushroom and I'm going to poke it with my staff and like lift up the head of the mushroom, have a look at the underside, and like just see how brittle it is.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to lift up the head of the mushroom. It's about your height. So like the head of the mushroom starts at about 3 feet, so you're able to like duck down and kind of pull it up. You can see where the is gills the right word for the bottom of a mushroom? Those little.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of get that. That fear of holes that people have. I don't have the fear of that, but the little gill frill things inside mushrooms freak me the hell out. Anything could be living in there.
And hanging off of those are what look like almost like is it kelp? I'm trying to think of what like flows down the plant like that. Anyway, it's like something like those gills kind of like fan down in little wavy thingies. It's a really good
Like lichen or something.
Yeah. And you can see, get with a better, getting a look underneath there. Crawling on those little fans of gills are these little 8-legged spider creatures, but they look to be a brain with little spider legs. If you've seen Santa Clarita Diet, it's Mr. Ball Legs. It's exactly like that.
And I let the head of it down. And I continue on with my journey, leaving that the hell alone.
Nope.
Because, oh my god,
Just gonna
no.
nope right out of there.
Yep. I'm gonna cast a nope over that. However, I am going to.
What spell slot are you casting that? No.
Sixth level.
Sixth level no.
6th level no.
Yeah. But yes, the other thing that I wanted to faff about with was the silver strand. I'm going to touch that with my hand and sort of like run my hand along it, see if it, like I seeing it and everything else going on. I imagine like this might make it like a musical sound if you run your hand along it. So I'm going to try that.
As you guys are walking towards that silver strand, you see a group of those little orbs that grow on the sides of these tentacles. They're all in the center of the orb is what looks like It looks like a goat pupil. You know, the little almost W shape
Yep.
in the center of those all kind of like turn towards you as though you're being looked at by 1,000 goat eyes.
Yeah, you know, you mean the creepiest kind of eye.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
How else can I make this like just absolutely terrifying? As you get to the strand, you see that it's made up of many different fine threads interwoven together. Waving your hand along it, it does make like the sheaming of or the chiming of like bells. When you have a bunch of bells and you just go make that like I don't know if it's bells or if it's chimes. It's chimes. Chimes is the right word.
Yeah.
It chimes like chimes. Um, and you can see the whole core just shimmering as you have touched it. Not shimmering, but shivering. And even the building can kind of wavers a little bit as at the touch of the strand.
Did the earth move for you? So I'm going to. Does the tentacle continue on, or is it basically like the tentacle goes one way and the strand goes another towards
The strand comes off the tentacle, but yeah, the tentacle keeps on going and kind of curling up and wrapping the tip of it itself around another tentacle.
Okay, so there is a way for us to continue walking along this path without having to like shimmy along the silver strand.
Oh yeah, you would.
Yeah.
When you get near the end of this tentacle, it kind of like narrows out to about 10 feet wide. You'd have to climb just a little bit, but it'd put you on a tentacle, kind of overlooking the building and stretching off in two directions.
So yeah, after undulating that string, I'm going to turn to Leah. Leah,
Mm-hmm.
you have some experience with the drow, do you not?
Some, yes.
Is everything we're seeing here from this place, or is some of it of drow design?
Well,
Go on. No. I'll let you. I'll let you.
No, take
I'll
it.
let you tell me what Leah said.
Take it away. You. I'll tell you if you're wrong.
No, after you.
Okay. Yeah, you know what Leah knows. I don't know what Leah knows. The structure that we are going toward, the one that the drow is going toward, I know belongs to the drow.
Yes. Does Leah know about these silver strands? Are they part of the Underdark, or are they? Is this part of the drow support structure or something? Is it a communication line? Can we separate it and hurt them?
These come from some of the indigenous species that the drow have sort of worked to control. They come from what has been aptly named cranium spiders. They are spiders with giant brains on their abdomen, and they are probably about 8 feet, like in diameter, not counting their legs. And the webbing that they spin is extremely strong. And even though it'll like waver and shake, you could walk across it feasibly. And as long as you keep your balance, you wouldn't fall.
Those are huge spiders, dude.
They're very big.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Does Leah
thinking
know
actually.
go on. Keep going.
I was thinking, do we know which way the drow went to this structure? Would this potentially be a way to cut them off?
There was only one, wasn't there?
No, there's quite a few that it like holds it together. And actually, being closer, you do see interconnecting webs. It almost looks like this thing is hanging suspended by a spider web.
Okay. I meant only one drow.
Yeah.
But there was only one drow that went through.
There was only one drow that charged into here from your guys' side.
Okay. So we probably wouldn't really know Do we see, like, is there a door, though, at the end of this tentacle? Oh, that was close. Yeah. Is there a door at the end of the tentacle?
Why is that so funny?
Oh,
I'm trying to figure it out.
similar to something else.
I know.
Is there a door that we can see?
There will not be doors, but this is where Eridu can give some knowledge. There won't be noticeable doors, but there will be runes that when you activate them, they will open up a chamber. Part of the reason why this building seems so strange is that it's meant to unfold upon itself and create larger spaces than it is taking up currently.
And do you know how to use the runes? Then what?
I think I could get us inside. Yes.
Okay, so storm the front door. Knock, see if he's in. How do we want to deal with this?
Well, I mean, I will cross and open the door if you'd like, or eventually you will all have to walk along this strand, but I could potentially make that journey a little bit shorter if this thing unfolds in the proper ways.
So we're going to have to go across the really thin wire.
Yes. It'll be easier than you think.
For a blind guy, no offense, Agner.
Look, none taken, none taken. I mean, I'm sure I can find a way of
Could you do
doing
it like hand over hand? Could you like hang from it instead of using your feet?
Sure. I've got upper
Awesome.
body strength. You know.
Oh, I know.
Ellie, you haven't taken your hand off my shoulder this whole time.
I'm guiding you, Agner. You need my help.
Well, in that case, Eridu, let's go. Let's do it. I think sooner is better rather than later, considering there seems to be a lot of dangerous stuff out here that can eat humanoid-sized things.
Yes. All right. Eridu gets starts on the wire, and it seems like as soon as he starts to walk along it, it seems like he's having a hard time taking his feet up off of the wire itself. It's not quite like it's sticky, but it's more like his feet are magnetized to the wire. With that happening, I would like someone in your party to roll a perception check.
Go on then.
If it's a visual one, not me.
You could roll it, Kyle, but given the fact that you are standing on something that is moving and you can feel those vibrations, you would have disadvantage.
19 for Hilla.
Or you would have just regular roll, whatever. You normally have advantage when it's with hearing stuff.
Yeah.
So you would lose that advantage.
Yeah.
But you got Halifax got a 19. That'll be.
Yeah, that'll be enough. I'll let him take that.
All right. So Halifax, you hear this kind of clicking noise and turn your attention to behind you guys, and so you guys were all kind of watching Eridu walk, and you see crawling up the other side of the tentacle. At first, you see the mod has 4 sharp, like almost like little claw hands around the mouth, and then 8 eyes looking at you. It's a troll playing some jazz. Oh my gosh, you guys are silly. All right, it is this iridescent spider, and as it kind of pulls itself above, behind it is the bobbing abdomen, and inside that, floating in some kind of liquid, is this massive brain.
Sweet.
Very clearly a cranium spider that you guys had heard about earlier.
Oh, yeah, I've got it here. I cast Yeet. Yep. I want this thing to go away. You know what? Yeah. I am going to. Seeing this thing here, knowing that Leah's informed us that the Drow use them, I'm going to just assume that this is part of the defense of the structure that we're going towards, and that it needs to be destroyed. And so I'm going to cast a lightning bolt at 6th level.
Oh wow.
Okay. That is an accurate assessment.
Do you want us to roll initiative, or do you want to?
No, go ahead and do the reaction.
All right, cool. Well, it needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 17.
How
They rolled 18,
dexterous. Oh,
so that's a 20.
pretty dexterous.
Okay,
Dexterous.
so it takes half damage of my 11d6.
Yeah, you seeing it move in its slow, menacing way, you kind of figure this thing's not going to move too fast. And as soon as you launch that bolt of lightning, it just kind of like ducks to the side real fast. The lightning still is grazing along one side of its body. How much damage does it take? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I haven't rolled yet. It's
good.
11d6.
I was too
It's got
busy
11d6.
going, how am I going to make this sound cool? That I was
He ducks to the side. And he's
Just
like,
like me.
Slides to the left.
How's the internet over there, Alex? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you all now, but the video is still really broken.
Okay. Well, let's hope it works out because everything's smooth over on my end, at least.
I'm just saying, I think a jazz
Okay.
troll would come in just with jazz hands.
Oh, dude, I wish. Are you kidding me? It'd be so much preferable to a cranium spider right now.
It's got little, what are those little symbols on it? The finger symbols?
Oh, those ones?
Yeah.
So that's 34, so half that would be 17.
Okay. Cool.
17.
And now you can roll initiative.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
14.
All right.
I don't like it, Asa. I don't like cranium spiders. Alright, so that's going to be 10 for Egner.
At 19.
And Leah?
I haven't even rolled anything yet because I'm still trying to. Well, I was just removing embarrassing things from my mantelpiece. But hang on.
That's fine.
What am I rolling?
Initiative.
Okay.
Cranium spiders.
Cranium spider.
14.
14? Okay. So Halifax and Leah, you have the same initiative. Which one of you guys is going to go first?
Well, since I got to do a lightning as a reaction, I'll let Leah go first.
Okay.
Damn it!
So,
I was gonna let you go first because I still am trying to figure out how to fix my setup here, but
at the moment, it's Ellie's
it's
turn.
fine.
So,
Okay. So I have time. I'll be right back.
Yep. And just to give Ellie a little chance of doing something exciting, Agner's. I'm assuming you're kind of standing at the edge of the strand, Agner, because you're kind of waiting intently for Eridu to do his thing.
Oh yeah, I was ready to follow Eridu. Totally ready.
Ellie's right there with her hand on his shoulder, and she sees the front two pointed legs. They're like blue-tipped legs coming up from the bottom of this tentacle, followed by a pair of blue mandibles with black fangs at the very tip, or black. Yeah, I guess they'd be fangs. So you can actually see enough of this spider to take a shot on it or do something with it. And then there's also the one behind you.
Ew.
There's two of them?
There are now two of them.
Oh jeez. No. No, brother.
Okay. Right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to stop it then, because.
Stab it in the spider face. Do it.
23.
That'll hit.
And I'm gonna use my arcane jolt as well on this one.
Do it.
damage on that one. And I will say, there's another one behind us, and kind of move around so I'm stood between that one and Agner as much as possible, but he's on the edge. But I'm just going to kind of like, as much as I can, be like attempting to take the hits from it first.
What was your first damage roll? I'm sorry. I missed that.
I think it was 6 + 3 + 1 + 6. 16, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
16.
So it's 25
damage.
in total. Cool. All right. Yeah, you say that there's one behind us, and Leah, are you ready, Alex? Okay. You are overcome with an overwhelming sense of calm. A calm that allows you to see with absolute clarity, and you easily mark the one that Halifax lightning bolted, and the one that Ellie saw, but instantly know that there's a third one. And as you are only three, know that within the distance there, within this immediate area, there are only three. You look up to see that it is cresting the top of the structure and leering down at Eridu. It's
All right. Well, there is a third one, and it's right at the top of the structure up there. I say very, very calmly, I do have a question for you, Asa. If the drow have been harnessing the products of these spiders, do they also have a way of controlling them?
That's a very good question. Part of the reason why the drow picked these particular types of spiders is because their large brains do make them not only intelligent, but part of a psychic hive mind.
Oh, that sounds like some shit that Leah can fuck with.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they feel emotions. Unfortunately, I'm also out of spell slots, so...
Oh, that's right, because you're a warlock. Wait, did we take a short rest? We should have taken a short rest. Did we take a short rest?
Yes.
We did not.
Just
right into
say we did. I mean, what? I mean,
We
like,
being chased down the stairs.
I would give our walk to this particular place, enough time to like have a short rest. You guys like kind of feel a little bit at ease. I think I'm being too generous with that, but I'm gonna allow it.
I'm taking it. I have no shame. I have
Thanks.
no shame. I'm taking
Absolutely not all. So.
it. Take short rest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably being too nice here, but real quick, just have your spell slots and do something with them. Like tell a riddle.
Okay.
Occasionally, I just pop into the chat and see a thing, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, I see.
I really like B-Clax's response to dealing with them. You just roll up a newspaper. This giant, 12-foot tall newspaper, just BAM!
That's clearly what we need.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where are we
Alright.
at? Oh, it's
am I-
Leah's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just, because I assumed that I wouldn't be able to cast any spells, I haven't even been looking at them.
That's
So, give me
We can
just
go
a
ahead
sec.
and let Halifax do a thing while you come up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sweet. Okay. I will. So there's one where we came from on this silver strand, and there's another one ahead.
There's one, the one in front of you that you lightning bolted. There's one coming up to where the silver strand's at. And actually, that one you don't have a line of sight on currently because it's still coming up the side of the tentacle. And then
Okay,
there's one above
and-
Eridu, which Leah so nicely pointed out to you.
Huh. So the one that's just been pointed out to me, in fact, the one near Eridu, I will use lightning. Is it within 15 feet of me?
No.
Okay.
It's about 40 feet away.
Is it 40 feet up?
40 foot, and like, yeah, it's a bit of a sideways raising angle.
Okay. In that case, frostbite cantrip.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a bunch of ice its way. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw, and it's save or suck.
Well, that sucks because I rolled a 9. 19, sorry, I rolled a 19.
Oh.
So that's a 20.
Well, I mean,
I don't often retire dice as a GM, but when I roll really good like saves early on, I'm gonna go ahead and get it.
so that was my action. I am going to run up next to Eridu, and
that's gonna require you to run along the strand.
Yep.
All right, cool. You start to make your way forward across the tentacle and onto the strand, and the second your feet touch the strand, you feel this, like, it's not sticky, but you feel your feet connect with that strand, and it's taking extra force to pull your feet from that strand and take another step forward. So, I would like you to make me a acrobatics check. Acrobatics is dexterity 1. Yes, make that.
14.
That's well over what you need to succeed. However, you're moving at half speed.
Okay.
So you've probably made it. The strand itself is about 30 feet long, and then it was 10 feet to get to the strand. So you've moved what? You've got 30 feet movement, so you've moved about 20 feet so far?
Yeah, that's about right.
Cool. That, Leah, you ready?
I have an additional question. And this may not be something that Leah knows necessarily, but do these brain spiders understand speech?
Yes, they do. She would know that.
So, because she is very, very calm, and therefore I have ruled that doing things where she frightens or invokes strong emotions is probably not going to be something she'll do. I'm actually going to have her do suggestion on the one that's closest to Eridu.
Okay.
16 is the save.
I rolled an 18.
Stop rolling well,
Not
Asa.
gonna actually.
It's a save or suck move too. I changed dice. I'm sorry, guys. I
rough.
did.
Rough.
What were you going to suggest it to do, though?
I was going to suggest basically a sort of move along, nothing to see here situation. We're not here to bother you. I suggest that you just go back to the other side of the building and wait while we do our thing. We're not going to be harming you. So,
as you do that, its brain abdomen, like the brain starts to glow within the liquid of its iridescent abdomen, and then you hear a voice in your head that says, "What have you come here for?" And you can see now the spider is looking at you. It's like rubbing its mandibles against each other as though hands expecting something.
Like that.
Come to pass through. We don't plan on lingering.
Yet you try to open the protected places.
Would Leah know what he's talking? That I assigned a gender to it. Would Leah know what it's talking about?
No. I think that. Well, I would give her maybe an intelligence roll to make an assumption, or you can have whatever assumption you currently have in mind. But specifically, no.
Well, that was a very bad roll.
Okay.
Okay. I'm afraid
so-
I don't know what you. She's just gonna say that.
Okay. Its brain is going to light up again, and it's just going to respond with, Interesting. And now it is Agner's turn.
Okay, so Halifax blasted the one behind us with lightning, and Ellie stabbed the one in front of us.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that one that's in front of you is now like pulling itself. Its upper body is rising over the edge of the tentacle. You can't really see this, but you can sort of feel the presence of something getting closer to you.
Yeah.
Just that general spatial awareness.
Yeah.
You can
And
hear that like the kind of I don't know like creaking or uh, whatever sounds its joints will make as it's pulling itself up.
mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and then also there's obviously Ellie stabbed it right in front of me, so it's like I
Oh,
get
yeah.
that sound and that just like representation that okay, there's something to be stabbed right in front of me. So I think he's gonna like. He's not gonna try. Actually, he should try. Here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna say, Ellie, defensive stance. And then he's going to spin around so that he's like pretty much back to back with Ellie. So
Okay.
he's got this idea to just try and like get swords out in both directions, covering one, covering the other. Can he sense that presence of the one behind them being close enough so that he could like stab it?
Yeah. The one that
Halifax
Halifax?
blasted, yeah.
no, it's still a pretty far enough way. You don't. It's not close enough for you to sense
Oh,
it. To reach out.
shit. Well, in that case, all right, he spins back.
It's you've got a Halifax and some distance between you. Well, no, Halifax went on a thing. Yeah, just some distance.
You went over there. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to try and just bash this one that's right in front. Oh,
Alright.
gosh. Can't even... I should roll dice over here. That's more like it. Alright. So that's going to be a 26. Actually, you know what? God, fucking Agner's still poisoned. Grrr.
'Cause
Gotta
you
do
have-
these at disadvantage. Are you kidding me? Alright, so the first one's a miss. This is why I don't want to be poisoned, guys.
Poison sucks.
Alright, so I missed twice in a row, and then...
Should have cast Cure Disease. Whatever.
I don't
it
got
was.
spell slots,
What is it?
man. I don't have spell slot. I got one first level spell slot. You can't really do much with that one.
That's true.
So, Egner does a shield bash, hoping to knock it prone, and hopefully by knocking it prone, it does something about it, like falling off the tentacle, hopefully. So we'll
Go for
do opposed athletics. Oh. I failed just 3 times in a row. Just like, everything was below 10. Like,
Oh, man. And
everything was,
I rolled
below
a-
8.
I rolled a 16, so that's 18.
Alright, so Egner is officially not having a good time. Feels like he's not very effective in the situation right now. Just feels like really helpless. So, that's essentially what's up there.
Okay. That puts it at the cranium spider's turn. This first one that's just been attempted to that Agner's attempted to back down. It lunges forward as you go to shield slam it, and does a 15 hit your AC.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
So it's as you like go to shield slam, it lunges forward, and you slam your shield up against its mandibles. Its fangs clicking across the top of your shield, and then the one that is on the other side of you guys, his lightning bolt, it begins to charge, like scuttle across the tentacle, and then Ellie sees it, and I think that Leah would say this too, sees it one moment just scuttling across the tentacle, and the next moment it's sort of there's like a flash of light as its brain starts to glow again, and then it appears right in front of Ellie. It bears its fangs down on her with a 17.
Oh, yeah, just.
All right, and you take, yeah, 3
Yeah.
piercing damage. I rolled a 1 on that dice. And make a Constitution.
I knew that wouldn't be it. 17. Yeah.
That succeeds. So yeah, it just barely grazes you with its fangs, and you feel nauseous for a second, and then that goes away. Um, the last spider just menacingly moves down toward Eridu, um, and you start to see its brain glowing again. And Eridu seems to look visibly shaken. He is on the other end of the strand now, trying to activate the rune, but he is very distracted by the spider coming down on him, and seems to be fumbling very incompetently. That puts us back to the top of the order with Ellie.
Yep. Oh god. All right. So there's one. So I'm just gonna say that me and Eigner are like back to back, but I'm facing away from the strand now because we kind of spun.
Yes, and I just realized, reading through this full ability, you take half damage from the secondary effect.
Okay.
So let me just roll that real fast. But go ahead and do what you were going to do.
So there's basically one pinning us in either side, isn't there? So.
Yeah, it's 6 psychic damage. Yeah, you're both back to back now. One's climbing up and attacking Egner, and the other one's right over top of you.
Oh, okay. How damaged does the one in front of me look? The one that took the lightning bolt.
Oh, it's got a big scar across the whole right side of its body from that lightning blast. You can just see where the electricity is definitely messed it up.
I will just stab it.
Okay.
26.
Yep, that hits for sure.
I'll use Arcane Jolt again.
Okay.
Go, Ellie. Please make up for Egner not
17.
doing stuff.
Yeah, 17 on that one.
Yeah, it rears back, and then you from the bite, and then you can go and make your attack, and that will kill it. So you can tell us how that happens.
As it rears up, I jab my sword straight into the brain.
All right. So yeah, it's like rearing up, and you're able to like duck underneath it and jab your sword into its abdomen, straight through its large brain. It rears back, like just kind of scuttling and almost dancing frantically, and then it flops over onto its side. Its little spider eyes just rolling in their sockets, and its claws or its legs start to fold in over its belly, and then it stops moving. The other 2 spiders sort of rear back, and all of you hear this agonizing, shrieking sound. In your heads, you hear many voices screaming out in pain.
I don't care. I turn around and go and stab the one in front of Eigner.
All right.
They had their chance to leave.
That's true.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna try to talk to them anymore.
That would be a crit fail on that one.
Okay.
Fall off the cliff.
You spin to strike at this other one. You didn't realize how close you were to standing to a cluster of those weird eyeballs, and you step on one. You feel it squishing underneath your foot, and then you slip under the remnants of its gooiness. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Lovely. My thing is at 12.
All right. Yeah, you slip and start to slide down the side of the tentacle. You're able to reach out just last minute and get your fingers curled over the web. You feel that magnetic feeling. your fingers sort of tightening up involuntarily. But you are hanging just by the tips of your fingers over this abyss. You look down below you, and you can see these luminous blue snake-like things just swirling and swimming around. The lights, slight lights of the eyes from the tentacles that are wrapping around the place, the whole realm. Uh, some more of the luminescent mushrooms. You can just see these different dots of lights in this vast darkness below you.
Okay. Can I like
It's-
shout help?
You
Yeah.
can shout help. Yes, it's Leah's turn.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Asa like if you would allow like a very kind of like not in the rules type of thing.
Mhm.
If Ellie were to shout Ignar because he's right there, I would propose like using my action surge to like as just because that's
As
very
a reaction,
flavorful as a
so-
reaction to be able to get this reaction to like try and reach out and grab her before she falls.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so he'll use his action surge. What kind of check or like wouldn't he make it a check or
I'm gonna go ahead and give you your action surge to just reach out and grab her.
okay?
And then I will have you make a strength check to pull her up, but I think
Word.
we'll do that. That'll
Alright,
be
yeah.
action.
Oh, okay. That'll be my action later. Cool.
Well, no. Go
Wait.
ahead and pull her up now. That
Oh,
can be a full
okay.
action. Reach out, grab her, and attempt to pull her up.
All right. I rolled a 3 plus my strength, like just the strength score
Right.
would make it 6. So I've got her, but I can't really get her all the way up.
Yeah, you've
Really?
got one hand, like you've actually had to drop your sword to grab her, and you've got the spider just kind of latched onto your shield, and you're kind of at this like tug of war with it, but trying to also not let Ellie fall.
Bad situation, dude.
Yep,
Yikes.
it is now Leah's turn.
Right. So there is a spider hanging on to Agner right now.
Yeah.
So when a spider was killed, the other one screamed, but they didn't seem like they were like they were about to curl up and die either.
No, they just screamed in pain. Is my screen frozen?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
You've been
100
frozen in this kind of position for a while, but it's cool because we can still hear you.
How weird.
Yeah. Shit like that's happened before.
Yeah, not to worry about it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not
Okay.
interested to look at.
Well, I'm first because I just had a conversation with a spider and then things went very badly. I'm going to say, listen, you can still leave while there's time, and we'll try not to bother you anymore. But because also there is a spider apparently trying to kill 2 people in one go, I am going to attack it.
All right.
And I guess it's time for an Eldritch Blast, because, like, what else do I have?
So when you do your Eldritch Blast, because I like this flavoring, just pick whatever emotion you are trying to invoke, and you're essentially just hitting them with power of that emotion.
Nice. I like that one.
I mean, what I'm feeling right now is like very strong frustration. So I've never killed someone with frustration before. That could be fun.
Frustration kills, man.
Yeah, dude. Hit him with stress. That's the real
Right.
Oh
killer.
man,
That's the real killer is
Yeah,
stress.
he just starts to age really fast.
Their blood pressure is increasing dramatically. They can't sleep anymore. Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
The first one is 24.
Oh, you know what happened? 24 hits. Zoom froze for me. Yeah.
The second one, I just roll a natural 20.
Well, that's a crit.
Nice.
So
28, but I don't know if it matters to you.
No, it doesn't. It definitely hits.
And then the third one.
Does this mean Zoom's gonna like crash out for you in a moment, Asa? Or?
No, I think I'll have time to fix it on a break.
Okay.
If it does
Third
crash
one.
out for me, you'll let me know. Third one is what?
22.
That hits too. So how the crit's gonna work is you're gonna deal D10 damage, like the maximum damage, plus you're gonna roll an additional D10.
Okay. Rolling. Where's my D10?
You're gonna have a lot of D10s. It's like 3 D10s plus 10 plus whatever you normally add.
Yep. Plus 4. That's 17 for what I rolled.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay.
And then that's plus what my max would be, and my max would be, no, that's not 17. It's not 17. It's 14, and my max would be 18.
Okay. So 18 in total for all 3 hits? Or for just the one?
I'm not supposed to do 3 damages, am I? It's supposed to be that damage covered.
It's a damage dice per hit.
Oh, okay. And on the floor it goes. Sorry.
You're fine.
Another 12.
Okay.
Champion.
So was that 30 in total?
What's that?
Was that 18 and 12? Is that right? So it's
Yes.
30 in total? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you just fling your frustration at this arrogant cranium spider who's putting your brother in threat, who's not listening to your attempts at reasoning. It rears
That's
back, clacking its fangs, and just roaring. Its brain alighting. It's roaring in all of your heads, just in like giving a frustrated growl, and then it says. It sort of speaks in all of your heads, but pointing one of its claws towards Leah. It speaks and says, "This one uses the power of the matriarchs. We shall retreat." And then it just turns and like starts to run up the building, and then gives a flash of light. As does the other one below that's holding on to Egner. It just kind of flashes in light, and then they're both gone.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ellie
Huh.
is still hanging.
Can I do something that I could have done? Are we out of initiative now?
You can go ahead and react or act.
See, I don't know how much I'm kind of technically allowed to do this, but my boots can teleport me back 15 feet to where I was if I was in the same turn.
Uh-huh.
So I could have teleported myself back onto the...
Yeah, I'll let you still do that. I mean,
That's fine. It'll just leave Egner in this weird position where he's
actually,
like, "Ah."
nah, I like it. I like it too much. Like, I could help us in the situation. I'm not.
I'll just stay as damsel in distress for a second. It feels nice. Feels nice.
Happy Agner.
what's funny is that being how you're holding on to the strand right now, you couldn't let go if you wanted to. Like it would take some real force, and it actually feels kind of safe. So you're not really in that much danger.
I play it up.
It's okay. I'd stand by my decision to use my incredibly valuable action surge for no reason. I stand by that decision.
It totally had reason. It was story elemented.
Yeah.
Eridu doesn't really need to say it, but he calls out to everyone, "I've got it open," and you can all start to see as the triangular shapes begin to unfold and kind of stretch down around him. And it's very Transformer-esque, where it just kind of starts to create a bit more of a bridge. And Halifax, being that you are on the strand, uh, you're able to reach that bridge a lot quicker than you would have if it wasn't opened yet. And at this point, the strand that you guys have to walk across is only about 10 feet wide. What's interesting is that strand, instead of like dropping and losing slack, it actually condenses in on itself and becomes a little bit wider and a little thicker.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to rush towards that door. Collecting Eridu along the way. I'm not going to like push past Eridu and just be like, "Oh, thanks for getting it open out the way."
Right.
I'm going
Thank
to
you. Move,
go
bitch.
in with him.
All right. Yeah, Eridu and Halifax enter
But
this room.
If it's dark in here, was Ellie human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
I have goggles.
you got goggles. Okay, I won't cast light then, because no, because there'll still be like colors and symbols and things that we can miss with dark vision. So I am going to cast light on the head of my quarterstaff.
All right.
Quick question. What
Quick
happened?
answer.
What happened to Jaren? Because my reduce only lasts a minute.
Oh.
And who was carrying him?
I forgot
Awkward.
about that.
Who was carrying that guy?
You're in my pocket? No longer.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say, for the sake of convenience, somehow it lasted longer than a minute.
On the dark magic.
It wasn't like it made him it just made him a size category smaller, right?
I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
which
it does.
I think that means someone would be like just carrying him under their arm.
Yeah.
So who is eligible for that? Pretty much just Halifax and Eridu.
Yeah.
Halifax and since Eridu's,
Was
feeling a
fiddling
bit
with
worse for wear.
So, Halifax, you were the one who was like footballing Jaren around.
Yep, and that's why I was just like pointing and casting spells and not doing anything else.
That
That's
makes
totally
total
why.
sense.
Yay!
As soon as you get into the chamber, you start to feel Jaren increase in size. And I want to say that Leah was kind of keeping him a little bit like sedated with her emotional thingy McThing thing. Yes?
You're muted.
I'm not
I
muted.
muted, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I was very calm for a certain period of time.
yeah.
I keep muting myself because I have a tendency to bust up laughing in the middle of someone else's sentence, and I was tired of interrupting. So.
It's
Yeah.
fine. As you can see, Kyle and I just, interrupted you with our laughter.
Oh yeah.
All right. What are Ellie, Egner, and Leah doing right now?
I'm waiting for Ike to pull me up.
Yeah, well, yeah. Egner does it finally. You feel the strain. You feel his kind of like he's a bit weaker than he usually is. But after some amount of grunting, he's able to pull Ellie up. And now that they're both solidly standing on the tentacle, he'll reach out and put a hand on her shoulder and just say, "I would never let you fall. Never.
Never gonna let you go.
I've got your I've got your back, Ellie, just like you've got my back."
Thank you. I was nearly done for.
I know.
Seriously.
I know it's dangerous here.
Yes. she's like blushing all over again. It's so good that Agnes blind. Her awkwardness.
But can he feel the like heat radiating from her?
He might.
Slight flush
Might.
of the cheeks.
Ellie, your voice is a lot shakier than it usually is. Are you okay?
I am now.
Good. All right, we should be off. Did you see where Halifax and Eridu went?
Yes, they're on the other side. I already got the door open.
Okay, let's go immediately. It's fucking dangerous out here.
There are spiders and shit. It's weird.
I know.
Yeah, start our way across. So you say it's like 10 feet across now. You can
Yeah.
walk it easily.
Yep.
I mean, I'll still guide Agner. I mean, I presume there's not like a railing. So
Nah. That'd be too handy.
So while I'm in here with a lit up tip to my staff, waving it around, what do I see inside this thing?
That's a good
I'm-
question.
I'm
And I was-
hoping for like solid floors, simple walls, a ceiling, nothing
bed.
weird.
Some cake.
The cake
That's
is
the
a lie.
cake, dude.
The cake is a lie. Don't believe it.
But it's made with fish.
And no TA.
All right. Can we all just go ahead and agree that everyone's making into the pyramid room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been running that way, and then Eridu went that way, so.
All right. So let's go ahead and take our break now, because that seems like a good place to stop.
All right.
And then
Fine.
when we get back, I will explain to you what's going on in this room.
All right. Just like the dungeon master said, we're going on break. Thanks for joining us today. Please join us in 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll continue this weird little crazy underdark adventure story non-Euclidean thing that we got going on.
And we're never going to give you up.
Never
We're
gonna
never
let
going
you
to let you down.
Never gonna let you fall off a
Fall off of a
tentacle.
All right. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
See you guys.
We'll be right back.